Hello you fantastic people and welcome back to Borderlands 3. Hope you guys are all doing well. In this video I'm going to show you guys the new buffed KAOS Dual Assault Rifle. This thing is actually ridiculous. Personally didn't really use it before this stage if I'm going to be honest, but since Thursday's buff, this thing is not only one of the best assault rifles in the game, and honestly I think it's my new favorite assault rifle to use in mobbing situations particularly. It's really good at bossing, but of course the Monarch probably beats it on that front, but mobbing, honestly think it takes the cake. This thing is crazy and I don't even have god rolls. Not from lack of trying, but I don't have them yet. I'm going to have some clips showing on screen so you guys can admire how amazing this new assault rifle buff is. It's kind of ridiculous. In this video though, I'm going to show you guys where to get it from, the different variants you can get, the ones I've got so far and the ones you want to go for. If you want to just start off with a simple one, like I've got quite a few of them, it'll definitely work for the next few days if you just want to mess around with it for the rest of the week. But as of level 65, I would highly recommend going for some amazing rolls, because this thing is now definitely top tier weapons in this game, which is awesome. Love to see it. Haven't had many dual assault rifles in any of my builds before, but this one is definitely going to make it in all of them now. And if you guys are interested, I'm going to go over a quick overview of the build for you towards the end of the video if you guys want to try this one out for the next few days. Otherwise, I'll update it when level 65 comes out. Oh, and also if you guys are on PC, you're more than welcome to check the description. I've got a PC save file down there if you guys want to mess around with it for the next couple of days with the weapons I have. Now, hopefully the clips are doing this thing justice. It absolutely wrecks on the melee one takedown in particular. It is so much fun to use, particularly with this build. If you're using a stopgap with the immunity phase, it just absolutely wrecks. You can't take any damage, and you can just sprint around and just absolutely fly through the melee one takedown. Now this thing's gimmick is essentially whenever you kill an enemy, it explodes an elemental bubble of whatever kind of element that assault rifle is. So if it's a cryo one, cryo bubble. If it's a shock one, a shock bubble. Now a weird thing with the shock one, before we get any further, I tried testing it with all shock ASCs or no ASCs and trying to charge a transformer if you're up nice, close and personal. For some reason it doesn't work, kind of like the OPQ. I don't know if that's by design or if that's a bug. Fingers crossed they fix it, because that'd be really cool just to be obnoxiously close, like I'm always doing whenever I play this game. And use a shock one and it'll just charge your shield. But currently it doesn't do that, so definitely stick a little bit back or use an immunity phase stopgap like myself in this video. To stop yourself from going down, because that bubble is super strong, and the main reason why it's a fantastic mobbing weapon, because if you kill an enemy, pretty much anything within a range, a couple meters, sometimes even further than that, it'll just explode everything around it. So it absolutely clears areas and they'll take down super quick. Now if you guys want to farm the dedicated drop spot for this one, first you want to go to Eden 6 and then down to Amber Maya. You guys are going to be farming the Psycho Billy's crew challenge boss if you haven't farmed them before. First you want to go to the Rogue's Hollow fast travel station. Once you get there, just turn left, run out here and then left again. As you can see, there's a cliff. If you jump off that cliff, right behind you will be a waterfall and a creepy little cave in which the 4 Psycho Billies will be camping in there. They have 4 dedicated drops, including the KAOS itself. Any one of them can drop any one of the dedicated. It's not particularly like nominated to each one. So you can just kill any of them and they all have a chance to drop it. Now the drop rate, it's actually not too bad for it, but there is quite a lot of different variants. You can get a cryo, corrosive, shock, fire, not radiation, and not non-elemental. So there are 4 of them to get. The annoyment drop rate is a little bit better because of the trashy annoyance have been taken out of the game, but from my experience it was taking me a little while to get a god roll. I think I took like 200 farms out to collect the ones I have. Now of course, if RNG is trolling you and they won't drop it, feel free to try the world drop system. It's actually been pretty decent for dropping the recently buffed weapons. I don't know if it recently got turned up or maybe I'm noticing them all of a sudden, but Tyrene, Gravy, Agonizer, any of those are great spots to go for. If you can try out Gun, or I've been managing to get them pretty much every run from the melee one takedown for some reason. Don't know if that's on purpose or not, but try it out. Now, as for the variations you guys can get, these are the ones I have so far. They're definitely not god rolls, and by the clips you could probably tell it absolutely does crazy amounts of damage, so you don't need the god rolls. I have consecutive hits on my shock one. Consecutive hits isn't that good for a single pellet weapon. It does have a pretty decent fire rate at around 10 to, I think the highest one I have is 13 bullets per second, which is really awesome, by the way. But it's not that great of an anointment. I would go, depending on what build you're rocking, if you're rocking the same as I'm going to show you guys in a sec, next to mags of an elemental type is a really good one. 100% ASC is probably the best kind of one you want, and then other ones, particularly on your Vault Hunter, you want to look for. Consecutive hits is a decent one to have all around though. This one is by far my best one I have, which is surprising because I really don't like cryo, but this one with next to max fire absolutely shreds everything. It's amazing. It has the highest fire rate at 13 bullets per second. I believe the highest damage is around 11k, which is what I have on this one. And the magazine size varies quite a bit dependent on the reload speed. So go 24, 32, that one's 24 as well, and then 45, but the reload is way slower on the 45 one, and you really notice it. As you can see, also the accuracy and handling varies hugely, and the one I actually got with the cryo seems to be the really good roll for all things all around. Reload times really quick, the mag size is the medium size, the fire rate is the fastest one, and the accuracy and handling is pretty much pinpoint, which is amazing. I've also managed to get this one, which is on action skill and bonus splash damage, which is really good for the mobbing situations, explodes everything way easier, and definitely takes out anything if it is in the range of the splash, but it does get outclassed with the next to max elemental damage. And then I've also got a consecutive hits corrosive one. Now if you guys are interested, I'm going to run through the build really quickly for you guys if you want to run around with this for the next few days before the level cap. As for shield, I often rock a frozen heart or a stopgap with on action skill start, activate any effects that trigger on shield break or fill. You can just spam that stuff with rack attack and it's amazing. The immunity stages really help with the stopgap and the chaos combo because the explosions don't kill you if you're up nice and close like I always am. If you don't have that problem and are smart enough to stay back and shoot things, then you don't have to use that. I'd recommend using a frozen heart. You can freeze everything on repeat, which is really good, or use something like a old god for bonus elemental damage, which is really good for taking out bosses as well. As for grenade, I honestly just use the It's Piss grenade pretty much all the time for all my builds now. I just use the bonus elemental damage on action skill end, and then just use the grenade itself for boss farm situations. As for class mod, Bounty Hunter is by far the best flak class mod at the moment, at least in my opinion. These passes are amazing, and if you get 3 points in most dangerous game, it's an absolute god roll. As for artifact, the Pearl is by far still the best artifact in the game, but if you do not have DLC 2, don't stress, you can use like a Victory Rush for the bonus health regen and damage. That is also a really good one. Or something like a Snowdrift Auto Idle. I use this thing to just zip around everywhere and for survivability, as well as the health regen. Plus those passives are really helpful. Now as for the skill tree, we'll run through this super briefly for you guys. This is a rack attack build, but you can very easily just change this to a 3-shot fadeaway build. It'll work all the same, honestly. As for your skill points, put 5 points in Planetary Stalker, amazing mobbing ability. Plus you can get the perks from this if you're using a Bounty Hunter in bossing situations as well. 3 points in Leave No Trace for the ammo back in your magazine, means you can shoot longer, more damage, never reloading is amazing. 5 points into Hunter's Eye, I have an extra one from my class mod, of course, amazing extra perks, plus all those go into boss farms as well. The head count is an absolute masterful rack attack builds. Getting that spam on repeat for those shield abilities and survivability is really good, and action skill and bonus damage is also great. Put 5 points into Two Fang for any single pallet weapons. Getting an extra pallet is pretty much just doubling your damage, so highly recommend all points in there. 3 points in Big Game and 3 points in Most Dangerous Game, combined for a ton more damage. I have an extra 3 for my class mod, which pretty much make this the sickest build ever when you include the class mod. 50% extra gun damage, 20% crit damage, and then pet damage by 54% for 120 seconds every time you kill a boss or badass enemy, which is very frequent in the melee 1 takedown. So you have that pretty much all the time. And you can get that in bossing situations, again, because the Bounty Hunter is a sick class mod. 1 point into Galactic Shadow because 1 point for 15% crit damage is so damn cheap. To get down to Megavore, I put 3 points into Second Intention. Now that's up to personal preference. If you guys want to put 3 points into Grim Harvest, you can get extra rack damage as well as gun damage if you want. But I personally hate reloading, so I don't want to stand around and be stuck in a gunfight reloading. So I put 3 points in there to make sure it is done and dusted and I get back into it super quick. And honestly, I don't think you really need too much extra damage with this build setup. Of course, the point in Megavore there for extra crit damage at all times. Put 5 points in Furious Attack. Shooting things means more damage. Sounds good to me. 5 points into Overclock for increased fire rate. Faster you're shooting, the more damage you are doing. Put 3 points in Self-Repairing System to get further down in the tree. Extra health regen is always great. I put 5 points into Eager to Impress. I put this in for rack attack builds, so you can just constantly spam that thing. If you're going to go fade away, you can spend those 5 points instead into Hidden Machine. Pretty much just swap those depending on which one you want to go for. But if you want to go rack attack, you pretty much get your action skill back instantly all the damn time in mobbing situations particularly. Put 3 points into Untitled Run, extra health regen, damage reduction, gun damage, and fire rate depending on if you're standing still or moving, which is super helpful. I always put a point in Lick the Wounds. If people don't, I honestly don't know how you play Flak, because you die to barrels, you die to explosions, just random things one-shot you in Mayhem 10. So I'd highly recommend getting Pet to pick you up when it can. Put 3 points into Fast and the Various. More gun damage sounds good to me. That'll get you down to the Capstone, the power inside. Extra 25% damage unless you have full health when you activate your action skill, aka Rack Attack spam, or if you go into 3-shot fadeaway. That means 50% extra damage for 15 seconds, which you constantly spamming Rack Attack, you're always going to have that, particularly if you're using Immune Stage stopgap. You never actually go into your health, so you're always at full health, which means tons more damage. As for Blue Tree, I actually didn't use this one at all for once. If you guys are running Fadeaway Flak, feel free to put 3 points in Persistent Hunter for extra fadeaway time if you want, but if you're using a Rack Attack, it's not really worth. You get a bit of extra gun damage, no doubt, but I don't think it's worth taking points out of other places. Oh, and finally for pet choice, I always go Spider Ant Scorcher for my Rack Attack and fadeaway builds at the moment, because its attacks are really, really good, and you get bonus elemental damage, which is super helpful for your own damage. But yeah, that is everything I have for the buff Chaos. This thing is amazing. If you guys want to check out this build over the next couple of days, let me know how you guys go. If you're on PC, don't forget to save file down below. If you guys did enjoy this video or found it helpful at all, feel free to smash subscribe and down below. I'm going to be making a ton of builds for level 65. I'm super keen for it. If you guys want to help me out even more, you can smash a like, leave a comment down below how you guys are finding this new and buffed weapon. It is absolutely amazing, IMO. If you guys want to check us out over on Twitch, my name is CodyMQ over there as well, or it's just linked down below if you'd like. Make a ton of builds over there, find the new buff weapons, and just hang out with chat, have a good time. Other than that, I have a Discord, I have a Twitter, also linked down below. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I shall see you guys in the next video and a live stream. Till then, adios.